Welcome to the Kliq Cast podcast, where we come to get down. Wait, what?
We come?
Sure, we come to review show. Wait, never mind. We're just here to view pro wrestling. Review. We're starting off fantastic Kliq Cast podcast. We are here to talk about Forbidden Door, amongst many things, as well as Smackdown and Rampage. Actually, well, mainly Collision, but Rampage was a thing to this week as well. We got Rhytokes over here, the homie. What's up, man?
Howdy.
Dude, what a fucking Forbidden Door.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Forbidden Door was long, but great.
The pay-per-view of the year so far, dude.
I was at Mania, and I think I'd actually agree with you. And I was there in person, my first ever Mania, and watching Forbidden Door. I was like, I wish I was there. This is incredible. Like, even watching on TV, it was incredible. But I think it could have been pay-per-view of the year. I mean, we have a long way ahead of us for the rest of the year, but holy fuck. We got Money in the Bank next weekend, too.
We do.
But before we get into all of the Forbidden Door talk, we are going to talk about everything that led up to this, including SmackDown, which surprisingly not good.
Well, probably one of the worst SmackDowns I've seen in a couple years.
It came out again via Sean Ross Sapp that SmackDown was altered heavily via Vince McMahon again. It showed this week. There was sometimes he stated that, and I thought like the Raw or whatever he said that was altered was still good. This SmackDown was not good.
Not at all, dude.
It had its moments, but I don't think the majority of it was rather forgettable.
Yeah, apparently it was rewrit that same morning or something.
You know what's unfortunate is that it used to be the normal, like every week when Vince was like head of creative. So that was basically the normal. Not all the time, but probably more often than not. It's happening more often now again. So
Jesus.
But we started SmackDown this week with a recap of what's been going on with the Bloodline, which is still the best storyline going in pro wrestling, even with this week SmackDown. But the Usos start off SmackDown, say that he's feeling right about his choice, picking Jimmy and turning on Roman. Jay tells Jimmy he loves him, says that himself and Jimmy still love Roman, says that they followed his orders for 2 years, says Reigns messed up when he disrespected himself and Jimmy says respect is huge for them. Says the Bloodline became their faction when they fell in line, but once Reigns showed them that they weren't worth anything, they left him in the dust. So we got Bloodline versus Civil War this coming Saturday. So pretty solid promo, nothing too big here. But yeah, I don't know. This promo kind of felt rushed.
I think the best part of the promo was when he said the Bloodline and then he had to correct himself to the Usos.
Yeah, I actually don't even remember that, to be honest. I think actually I was still driving home from Denver. I had the way it worked for me is I had luckily hit traffic that was standstill. So I'd put I pulled up the Fox app or whatever, and I had my phone on my Bluetooth in my car. So I had it playing. I couldn't see it. I didn't look at it, but I could hear it because it was like in picture with my Google Maps or whatever. And so I just had it like very small, but I could hear it. So I heard it, but I was driving, so it wasn't my full focus. But I did have it on. But initially, my thought was like, man, that felt really quick. Like it just was a really quick intro from them. But immediately we get Rey Mysterio coming out. What was initially supposed to be LA Knight versus Santos versus there was one other person supposed to be in this match. I actually can't remember off the top of my head. But it turned into LA versus Rey. Rey wasn't even involved in the initial triple threat that was supposed to happen. And again, I was still driving, so I didn't really see the match, heard it. I know LA Knight wins. What did you think of the match?
I thought it was really good. LA Knight with the crowd recently, the crowd for him has been behind him so good. And I'm pretty sure he won with the rope though at the end. But I think the original match was supposed to be Santos, or I know it was supposed to be Santos and Butch and LA Knight.
Pete Dunne, yes, Butch.
Yes.
So that was initially announced the week prior, but they switched it. This is one of the rewrites. So he uses the ropes again. I'm fine though with him getting a win over Rey, especially if it's cheating tactic. Rey with his big storyline, bringing back LWO, his big year so far. So that's a huge win for LA Knight, who's massively over. I'm hoping he wins Money in the Bank. What about you?
It has to be either him or people are gonna hate this, Logan Paul. I think those two would get the best crowd reactions.
Logan is definitely going to get a lot of heat in the UK because the UK crowd is going to be nuts. So just like you were saying for this week's crowd for SmackDown was really nuts for LA. I guarantee it's going to be a mixture of cheers and boos in the UK. I mean, maybe we even get a KSI appearance again with it being in the UK.
Maybe.
But I could see it being Logan. Like you said, not many people will like it. I would be one of them, but I could see that happening for sure. From there was Solo Sikoa backstage. He runs into Ridge Holland, who is passing by and tells him to watch it. Sikoa loses his temper, delivers a Samoan spike to Ridge Holland before walking away. And then we come back from break. Sheamus appears ringside to call out Solo, challenging Solo for a match, and he gets it in the main event. So Solo attacking Ridge Holland here. I think this is right when I got home, so I think I do remember seeing this kind of play out.
And Ridge sold that like crazy.
I remember them coming back from commercial and hearing him gasping like crazy. And I think I made a comment about how in the ring, some people get up immediately and hit a move or something, or try to go for a move against Solo. Not all the time, but you see it here and there. And then you got Ridge who's dead. Like you can't breathe worth of shit. So I just found that funny. But Solo is definitely being presented as a main eventer. I mean, I don't know how long he's going to stick by Roman's side and if he'll still be presented that way in the future. I feel like obviously it's going to end eventually for Roman and Solo. But man, they've really him really is like been someone that they've like really skyrocketed. Like Theory is someone that got pushed down our throats, a lot of people would say, under the Vince regime when they did the whole storyline with him and Vince. But I feel like Solo's has been done so much better. Like just he fits so well into the bloodline in the end. I didn't want him in there initially.
At first I didn't know who Solo was because I'd never seen him, and then he really grew on me. And yeah,
I mean, he's so good. Very good. He doesn't even have to talk, really.
Yeah, he just recently started talking a lot, which I think is cool.
Starting to say more.
Yeah,
he doesn't have the Usos really there to say stuff for him. Do you think he'll continue to be presented as a main event star once he's done with like the bloodline with Roman?
I hope so. Maybe even see him maybe take a championship, maybe like from Theory or Gunther, maybe.
I'd be fine with him defeating Theory. I mean, the last 2 weeks, we haven't even had Theory on SmackDown. He wasn't on here tonight on the show we're talking about or the week prior. And he's your U.S. champion, so please do something different at this point. His match against John Cena at Mania, I was there. Well, it was cool and entertaining live. I felt like it was a very plain match for a WrestleMania match. And Theory never got really much heat after beating him, excuse me. So I would be okay with that because there's nothing going on with Theory that's very entertaining at the moment.
Agreed.
So from there, we get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Alba Fire, Isla Dawn for the unification of the women's tag titles. I believe I started doing some cleaning around the house at this point. So if you want to give me a better rundown of your thoughts on this tag team, I know the outcome, obviously, but I feel like I definitely didn't see a lot of it.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn whooped their asses, dude. And like always, come at the end, hit a few moves, and fucking won.
How long was the match, if you had a guess, or if you had to recall?
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay, so got like a commercial break or two in between the matches?
Yeah, there was a commercial break, yeah.
Okay. So it looks like Rousey and Shayna won by tapping Dawn out with actually a double tap out, it looks like.
Yeah, it was double tap
Shayna
out.
and Rousey. But I don't know. I mean, we have more of women's tag teams right now on the main roster than we've had. So I'm okay. Excuse me. I'm okay with this unification. I would rather it have been Isla and Alba, obviously. And obviously, Rousey and Shayna are real life friends for a very long time, so they have natural chemistry. But I feel like how they've been presented on TV, they haven't really been there often. Even after their match, that Fatal 4-Way Women's Showcase match at Mania that they won, they weren't even much a part of that match. Like you said, as usual, they just come in, hit a few moves at the end, and win. That's exactly how it went down at WrestleMania. Just hit a few moves. And then you got the win. So, I feel like a lot of Ronda Rousey's star power in WWE when she first came over in 2018 or whatever it was has dropped. Obviously, that was quite a while ago now, 5 years ago. But she's not presented like Brock. She doesn't feel like a Brock Lesnar.
I enjoyed her when she first came in. She was really fun to watch, and now it's her match. She's doesn't do anything really.
No, not at all. But in the end, they're now the unified women's tag team champions. After that, we have Raquel, who comes out and lets it known that we're going to win our titles that we never lost. A lot of people, including Rousey, thought they were talking to Shotzi. Out came Liv Morgan back from injury a lot sooner than a lot of people expected. I saw that. I remember seeing the ending of the match, and I'm being like, woo, yay. Like, not surprised. And then when that happened, I did cheer, but I also was kind of in a sour mood from Rousey and Shayna winning. So I was like, oh, now here they are to lose to Shayna and Ronda. But I'm just also just a salty Liv Morgan fanboy. So.
Oh yeah, Liv is amazing. I love Liv.
Yeah, so it was. I hope they win, obviously, but I don't think it happens. Apparently it's Money in the Bank. They did it. They didn't even like say it on commentary, or they might have, but it was like a little lower third thing. It wasn't like a full match reveal, like a little lower third of Shayna Ronda versus Liv Raquel Money in the Bank. So that's cool. That's a step forward for that women's tag team title, which hasn't been on pay-per-view, and I couldn't tell you how long. So that's cool. I'm excited to see that in the end. But
I'm excited to see where they take the titles because now they're unified. They can go NXT.
That's right.
Anywhere.
Really, there doesn't seem to be much teams in NXT. I don't know if you really watch it right now, but for me, I've been watching it for a couple months now, 4 or 5 months again. And right now, there really isn't anything besides something Leon and this other. I can't remember their names off the top of my head right now. But they're like the only team that comes to mind in NXT. I can't, off the top of my head, think of another active women's tag team. So that's what made me another reason to be okay for this unification, because I was like, but it makes sense if they do it for all 3 brands. But right now, NXT doesn't seem to have any women's teams. After that segment, we had Pretty Deadly on the Grayson Waller effect. Again, I stepped away. I started just cleaning up. There was a lot of mess and laundry I had to do. So did you see this Grayson Waller effect segment?
I did, and I forget who interrupted it.
Looks like it was the Street Profits.
Street Profits, yeah. The whole promo wasn't really that memorable, but then the Street Profits came out, and they had a pretty fucking good match. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it looks like Pretty Deadly won via cheating. They helped each other by so it says Montez Ford ascends to the top as Angela Dawkins gets Elton Prince up for the electric chair position. Wilson knocks Ford off the top rope before Prince rolls up Dawkins with his feet on the ropes as Wilson holds them in place for the win. So another rope assisted victory in this Smackdown via Pretty Deadly. I didn't really see this match. A lot of this at this point is where I was cleaning and just like this Smackdown's not it for me. I know I was quite early that I kind of zoned out, but for me, it just a lot of stuff. It was like, where's Bailey Shotzi? Or Bailey Shotzi. They were announced last week. And obviously I was on the road, so I hadn't heard about the Vince changes until y'all started telling me like apparently Vince has done shit. And so it was like, okay, like this is really like this is Vince-esque then. Like there's not even talking about Bailey Shotzi, not even a reference to it besides them tweeting about it or some shit. I don't even know if they tweeted about it, honestly. But that was a bummer. They also canceled something else was announced.
Baron Corbin and Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes. That was another thing. They're going to continue that. It might not be the most amazing feud going on right now, but it's something that was set up the week prior. So it just definitely felt like put together quickly. But matches were, I guess, not bad. Again, I love Grayson Waller, but I'm ready for him to be in ring action, like one-on-one here on SmackDown.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's gonna be
So we got, instead of Bailey Shotzi for the Money in the Bank spot, or Bailey's Money in the Bank shot, we got Charlotte Flair in a match against Lacey Evans. That was definitely not it.
No.
At this point, I think I came back down to sit down and kind of take a smoke break from whatever I was cleaning or whatever I was doing. And so I was like, really? And so I was just like kind of talking with y'all, but I had to focus on it. This match just wasn't it.
I'm just not a fan of Lacey Evans.
I feel like they do so many things with her, and it's always different every time.
She's had like 14 different gimmicks in the last 3 years.
Like she didn't even. I don't even know what the point of this match was. I know they're building up to Asuka Charlotte next Friday, but this match was not it. After the match, though, Asuka did come out because Charlotte kept the figure 8 locked in on Lacey. Asuka started beating down with raining hands, celebrating before heading to the back. So we got Charlotte and Asuka next Friday. Obviously, Bianca, she did have a segment here before this main event. being pissed at Pierce still.
Mhm.
I actually don't see it in these. I remember that happening, but I don't see it in the notes I have here.
Mhm.
But at some point she confronts Pierce again. It kind of seems like they might be heading to a heel turn.
That's what I was about to say.
But it's kind of valid because Pierce is not doing anything to correct what he initially told her. So I feel for her, honestly.
Dude.
But who do you got, Charlotte? Asuka.
Asuka, my girl, Asuka. Charlotte just coming back, jumping to the front of the line. That ain't how it works.
And that's legit. The promo she's been cutting is just like, I am the line. Like,
I made the line. Okay.
Yeah. She should just say, I am the line. Like I am the table from Botchamania. Oh man. But yeah, so that's literally the storyline they're going with, is what the hardcore fans hate about her, is that they're doing the whole, I could do whatever I want. I'm the 14 time. Ooh. So it's whatever. I'm not a fan of her. She's good. I always acknowledge her. I give her flowers, and I think she's one of the best in-ring workers and very entertaining. But just not a fan of her always getting those title shots either.
Yeah, no.
I always get asked to in like live streams, Josh, when do you think it'll be Cena or Orton that defeats Flair's record? I'm like, it's gonna be Charlotte, dude. Like she's so close. If they would have kept the NXT, titles in her record, I think she would have already been there. So,
damn.
So they definitely, I don't know why they took those away as world titles, but I think that's what's gonna go down with her. She's gonna beat that eventually. So we have Solo Sikoa, Sheamus in the main event. Not a bad match. I kind of paid attention to this one. These two, you kind of hard to have a bad match with two hard hitting guys like this.
Oh yeah, it was a good match starting. It got ruined with the biggest botch.
I don't remember that. Can you? That?
Sheamus was up against the barricade, and the camera was at an angle that when you see Solo go run through him. When you see Solo go run through him, he misses him completely.
Oh,
but then they call the match after that, acting like he's hurt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. I remember. I was like, really? That's the ending? Okay. I don't remember the botch, but I remember the ending being like, why did they stop that? Because I remember I immediately tweeted out, like, that was the worst SmackDown in a long time.
Dude,
like, really bad.
People were tearing it apart on Twitter.
It was poor. It was one of the, and that's been the watch, like the go-to show to watch. Because like they even had a graphic. I remember Sarah asked me about, because she went home Friday. So before we went to that part, she's like, I was like telling her like things that they were announcing or whatnot. And they had like graphic activity with like Roman, the Uso, Solo, and Paul, like all like making it seem like they're gonna be on the show. And then all of it got like changed like right after that.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah, SmackDown. I know I didn't have my full focus to it, so I can't really feel like I could give it a fair rating. But what I saw, I didn't like.
Yeah, no, worst SmackDown in a long time.
I'm sure the ratings will still be fine just because of the storyline going, so people are still tuning in because they're expecting it. But I don't know how it'll be after that. I don't expect it to take too big of a hit. If it's another bad week, then we have some issues.
It's hard when a Raw beats a SmackDown for me, but I think Raw was definitely way better that week.
Oh, 1,000%. Raw was 1,000% better, and probably changed by Vince, ironically as well. But
probably.
Really quickly, I'm just going to talk about the Rampage results because there was some story build in there from for the pay-per-view tonight, or actually not really the pay-per-view, but with MJF and Adam Cole at least. So we had Swerve and United Empire took on Chaos, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor, and Yo. Really fun match, 8-man tag. In the end, I believe it was Swerve and United Empire who got the win, because it doesn't actually. Oh yeah, it does right there. I'm bad. These notes are terrible. We had a Tony Storm promo on Willow Nightingale for the match for Forbidden Door, which we'll get to shortly. Here we had Adam Cole come out, but immediately interrupted by MJF before Cole can even do his baby. MJF appears on the ramp, thanks Cole for giving him the confidence to take on the Tanahashi match. He then has Tom Lawler from New Japan come and beat him down. I was super hyped for this match. He then announced that Tom Lawler would be taking on Adam Cole at Forbidden Door, but actually, that match ended up not happening. Adam Cole got sick, so that didn't even happen tonight. But it was a cool segment. It was actually nice to see them do something on Rampage story-driven to the main guys. We had Daddy Ass and the Acclaim beat 3 jobbers. Typical Rampage. We had QTV's Harley Cameron come out, and she was like flirting with Anthony Bowens. And she's like, you know, you want this, and like had his like she like had her like little tie or whatever. She's like pulling or something. Anyways, he was like, he just grabs the mic, and he's gay in real life, and so he's like, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but he just like, should we tell her? I'm gay. Like he just says it so like just out there. It was great. The crowd started chanting, he's gay.
He's gay.
He's gay.
He's gay.
He's gay. And that's like probably the nicest he's gay chant you've ever had in pro wrestling. Because back when I was growing up, that meant the opposite. They were trying to be mean when they were saying that. But nowadays it's the opposite. It's great. So it's great to see that, you know, change in my lifetime. I'm glad that that's where we're at today. But that was a funny segment. After that, we have Swerve Strickland cutting a promo on Tanahashi, who he takes on Collision, which we'll talk about here shortly. Sky Blue and Anna Jay in an Unknown Heart Cup tournament matchup. Sky Blue defeated Anna Jay in a short and sweet match. We had Mark Henry do our promo for Jungle Boy taking on Doki, who is a faction member to Sonata, and Jungle Boy got the win over Doki. Pretty simple match. At the end, Sonata came out, entered the ring, and confronted Jungle Boy face to face. It was pretty okay Rampage. Always pretty forgettable in the end, I felt like, except for that Adam Cole segment. But let's quickly go over Collision because there was a lot of story telling for Forbidden Door here.
Yes.
AEW Collision started with Darby Allin and Sting revealing their partner for their match at Forbidden Door against Jericho, Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. And I was right. My prediction was Tetsuya Naito, and it was. So I was excited for that.
It wasn't Goldberg.
There was actually loud Goldberg chants in the arena. So that was cool. They had a good back and forth with Sting and Darby and Jericho and Sammy. And they've been teasing Sammy turning on Jericho too, but we'll get more into that for the match here. So Naito is now in their match. We had Tanahashi and Swerve Strickland. I was super excited for this match. There was a few times that Tanahashi's knees gave out on him in this match. Went up to the top for his signature frog splash, which is known as the high fly flow, and his knee buckled, and he like it looked legit, unless it was like one of those Jeff Hardy things that they've been doing where like Jeff Hardy like falls off the top a lot. I don't know. That looked legit. I've heard in the past that he's had a lot of knee issues as of recently. Kind of scary because apparently he's in their G1 tournament coming up, which is a round robin style tournament that's like very hardcore. So if he's really having knee issues, that's scary that he's in it. And he's like 46 or something. So
damn.
Yeah. Or 45 or something. He's in his 40s. He's been around for a minute. Good match, but there was a few moments where Tana just his body, his knee weren't doing well in the match. It was a different story though in Forbidden Door, thankfully.
Oh yeah.
Andrade, El Idolo, and Brody King had a really good match.
Yes.
This was phenomenal. Brody King, dude, I could see him being an AEW World Champion.
Love Brody King, dude.
Dude, Brody King. Obviously, this was continuing the feud with the House of Black because last week we had Buddy Matthews. I almost called him Buddy Murphy. Buddy Matthews and Andrade battle last Collision. In the end, we had Andrade win with figure eight. Here, he had locked in the figure eight on Brody, and then Buddy came out and attacked Andrade. So the House of Black continuing this feud with Andrade. I was actually surprised no one came out and helped Andrade.
Me too. I was waiting. And then it cut to Malachi on the screen, and then it cut to black.
Yeah, so because before Andrade got injured and all this stuff happened, like with him backstage with like Sammy or whatnot, and he got suspended, he was in the faction, like he was doing his faction from Mexico with Roosh and Dralistico, and they brought in Preston Vance, and they had Jose the Assistant. So I was like, why aren't they coming out? I mean, and maybe they're not there, honestly. Obviously, maybe they weren't even backstage. But like in storyline, it's like when they acknowledge where's his teammates, like there was no acknowledgement of that. So I was like, what the fuck? Maybe we'll get that here soon. Maybe they're just slow build. Maybe. We'll see. We get Christian, who basically is calling himself the TNT champion. So it was Luchasaurus who defeated Wardlow in the first Collision, in part due to Christian helping him, obviously. But Christian is holding the gold like it's his. And he cut this whole promo just saying that they're going to defend it and bring the TNT title to glory. He's acknowledging that Lucha won it. But he's like saying we are going to do this. We're going to do this.
Yeah, he's just going to have Luchasaurus defend it for him and never like do anything. His. Yeah. So
he'll be the opposite of Paul Heyman. He'll act like it's his and carry it. Paul carries it for Roman, doesn't act like it's his. It's Very interesting. So we'll see where this goes. I've never been a big fan of Christian. I've always memed about him because like when he returned to WWE from Impact or TNA back in the day, when he returned, it was like then the commentary didn't sell him as a big deal. When he was like killing it on TNA, like he was like becoming super popular again, or like even more popular, whatever. And when he came back, it was like the whole it's Christian. Like, so I always memed off of that because I was like, that's how I feel. Like, but guy is a Hall of Famer. Like, I can't deny any of his accolades. So like, I'm curious where this is gonna go. But it's so hard for me to get into things he does. I don't know why.
Yeah, he doesn't really catch my attention.
He's good. He's not bad. I don't know. I never get sucked into his stuff. But I always say, like, I think he has a Hall of Fame worthy career. I think he's done a lot. You know, just great tag team with him and Edge.
Oh
had
yeah,
some good solo success in WWE, Impact, TNA, AEW. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's not the old Christian really anymore.
It's Christian.
Christian
Cage.
There you go.
No, but I still acknowledge that this is an interesting story. I just I don't know. I'm not hooked yet. Hook, line, and sunk. They haven't caught me yet. After that, here we had an Owen Hart Foundation tournament qualifier. Willow Nightingale and Nyla Rose. Willow is so hard hitting, dude. Every match. Her match with Mercedes, where Mercedes got injured, unfortunately, was hard hitting. This with Nyla, who's also a bigger woman, was stiff as fuck, dude. I loved it.
I had only seen Willow like twice before she took the title from Mercedes. And she's really, like, the last few matches I've seen, she's really been good. I really enjoy watching her.
She has an infectious smile. I think that was the first thing that made me become a fan. It's her theme, because I first saw her when she started doing stuff for AEW, obviously. Her theme and her smile and her, like, just, like, she has a nice energy to her. She just wants to have a good time. And then she's right there to kick your ass after. Exactly. And I love that. I love that. So I fell in love with her not too long after first seeing her. I couldn't tell you what my first match I saw of her was, but it was probably on like a Rampage or something. But so I fell in love with her. I've seen her twice now live when AEW's come to Colorado, and she won. She got the win over Nyla in a really good match from the Owen Hart qualifier. And she's obviously right now the New Japan Strong Women's Champion, so she's doing pretty good right now. I mean, beat Mercedes mainly because of the injury in the match, but still, like, you can't not acknowledge that
she's taken it like the belt really good, even though she wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously this set up for her and Toni Storm on Forbidden Door. After the match, Nightingale was surrounded by the Outcasts, including Saraya. Sky Blue ran down with the steel chair and ran off the Outcast. So that was before their match tonight. Sky Blue is also getting pushed quite a bit too.
Oh yeah,
it's good to see that as well. We got a squash match. Powerhouse Hobbs squashed Jeremy Prophet. Rather forgettable.
Yeah.
And then it goes into our main event: CM Punk, FTR, Ricky Starks versus Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard this match announced, I was like, that's not too different from the first Collision main event. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do something different, but this was really good.
Yeah, the bits of it that I saw, it was really enjoyable. And then the ending.
It was a really good main event. A lot of crazy spots. There was some spots with Cash Wheeler kind of doing like the Cesaro stuff. Well, not really Cesaro stuff, but I compare it to that because it's like where they just beat the shit out of anyone. So it's just there's everyone around. And they just do, oh, boom, I threw you out of the ring. Oh, boom, I just knocked you over the ropes. Oh, fuck, I'm going to dive on this guy. Boom, I'm going to come in. I'm going to hit this guy with a pile driver. Like, he was just going fucking crazy. Oh, yeah. And I was like losing my shit. I was like, this is like Cesaro. Like, he's just going nuts.
You also had Stark with all the spears.
Yes, Ricky Stark's spear is very good. I didn't really like it at first, but he's really gotten good at it. But yeah, the ending, of course, the Bullet Club Gold and the Guns win.
A little bit of
White throws up the gun. The Guns look around. They come up. They're now part of it. And I will say the Guns, their last few entrances where they're doing the water guns when they're doing the air guns, that looks so cool. I like, and like the first one when Austin did it, and then this week Colton did it with him, but Colton did it like that, kind of like smoking. So if you guys are, I don't know if Ryan knows, there was a tag team that Billy Gunn was in the 90s with Bart Gunn, and they were the Smoking Guns, and they always used to do that. And they used to have like toy guns that they would do that, I think.
Really?
So Colton did that, and he did the spray. And I like lost my shit. I was like, fucking Smoking Guns. So it's cool. Like, and then they wear the Shawn tribute gear. Like their shit's always inspired by Shawn Michaels 90s gear. So that marks me. I hate them though. They're the sleaziest motherfuckers. Like I hate them, but they fit perfect in Bullet Club Gold. So they were in Springs when they first helped Jay White. So Sarah kind of thought them.
It's be pretty cool to see what they do with that.
I'm excited. I'm curious because Bullet Club Gold is a thing in AEW. They kicked Jay White out of the initial Bullet Club in Japan. Can he just branch out his own thing out of nowhere?
Yeah, just yoinking the name and adding a new word.
I'm assuming eventually they'll do. I thought they might have done something tonight at Forbidden Door with like him and like the other Bullet Club guys. Like
maybe.
Like what the hell? We kicked you out, motherfucking. Beat him down again or something. I don't know, but they didn't do any of that.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah. Overall, pretty solid Collision for the second week. Curious where the ratings are. I know ratings don't really matter in general, but just to see after the first week where they're gonna settle to, because Dynamite for a while wasn't doing too hot. It's kind of picking back up again, but good Collision. What are your thoughts overall on what you saw on that show?
Collision was pretty solid. I mean, the squash match was kind of, like you said, forgettable.
Everything else was good besides that. Yeah,
give like a solid 4 out of 5, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Watch this podcast ad-free at my website, heeljosh.com. Sign up for my Patreon-style memberships, joining the Heel tier at $5 a month, $4.50 for your first month. That will give you ad-free access to the Kliq cast every week that it's up. No ads at all. If you are a Kliq tier member, you will still get the ads, but you will get the podcast 2 to 4 hours before it goes up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. But the Heel tier, completely ad-free, as well as that 2 to 4 hours before it goes up everywhere else. So make sure you guys go to heeljosh.com, subscribe today, get that ad-free viewing. Now let's get into the big one here. Forbidden Door. I watched every match, including pre-show. I don't know what all you saw.
I didn't see the pre-show.
So the pre-show had 4 matches. They streamed it on YouTube. Started off with Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony, versus Rocky Romero, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, and El Desperado from New Japan. Really good 8-man tag. It wasn't really anything too crazy, but in the end, the Mogul Embassy Swerve gets the win. After that, we had Athena, the ROH Women's Champion. I keep wanting to say defense her ROH title, but that's not what this was. It was an Owen Hart tournament qualifying match against Billy Starks, or quarterfinals match. And Athena with the win. Billy Starks is only like 18.
Really?
Yeah. So fighting Athena, the former Ember Moon, here is pretty big. She's fought a lot of big names, Billy Starks, in her career already, honestly. But it was really good. Billy Starks is honestly going to be, as long as she can stay healthy with her career, as young as she is, how much she's already wrestled, she could be huge. She's so good.
Damn. I'm off to
so good in the ring.
Check her out.
Athena won the match with some really stiff moves, too. Athena is hard hitting, the former Ember Moon right now as ROH Women's Champion. She hit her with a slam pile driver for the win. After that, we had El Phantasmo against Stu Grayson. I didn't know this, so I guess on ROH TV, Stu Grayson is now a former Dark Order member. He left the Dark Order and is now with the, I guess what they're called is the Righteous. Vincent and Dutch from ROH. Those two are actually speculated to be Bray Wyatt's in Bray Wyatt's faction before he disappeared.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't know all that. Fun match. El Phantasmo looks like Logan Paul, so that made me laugh. He has like the same haircut, same color, the black 5 o'clock shadow type beard. So he just looks like a smaller cruiserweight Logan Paul. But I love ELP though. I've seen him win many times before. Just right now, I was like, man, why do you look like Logan? But El Phantasmo gets the win over Stu Grayson in a fun short match. And then the last match of the pre-show was Los Ingobernables de Japan, LIJ, Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, and Bushi took on Kyle Fletcher, Cobb, and TJP of United Empire. This one I kind of wasn't too focused in because I was kind of getting prepped for the stream or the main card, kind of like eating and like smoking or whatnot. So in the end, though, United Empire gets the win here over the LIJ. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. So then from there, the pay-per-view started. And it started. Are you yawning, good sir? How dare you?
Sorry.
The pay-per-view started with MJF and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Of course, we were saying how during Collision, Tanahashi's knees look pretty fucked. But here, they worked around that really good.
Oh yeah, it took him a second to figure out the top ropes because they were saying how they're different from New Japan's.
That's what I like about commentary in AEW is they're very good at telling you reasons why things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty sly for them to be like, he's not used to because of the different. Because then literally in New Japan they use like kind of like the boxing style turnbuckles. It's like the big ass fucking thing,
rectangle ones.
Yeah, that just connects all the way down. But that's a good save. If I had to say if I heard one myself. Match was good. MJF being his dick ass that he always is, always fucking flipping off everyone and shouting mid-match, calling people fucking idiots. And dude is hilarious. And what's funny is that's going to be in the new Fight Forever game that comes out this week. So I'm excited for that.
Oh,
to have him shout during matches. But it was really good. Tanahashi looked way better here than he did against Swerve. They must have maybe he took an injection in the knees or something to help with the pain or something. I don't know, because it was a night and day difference from the shows. But really good match. A few times I thought Tanahashi was actually going to win.
Oh, dude, really close. You know,
the high fly flow. I love his frog splash. So there's one time when he did get the knees up MJF and he like stiffed the fuck out of him with those knees. I felt like just hit him so hard. But in the end, MJF retains after he pushes Tana into the ref. The ref is distracted, like in the corner. Oh no, I think he grabbed the title is actually what it was. Yeah, so the MJF grabbed the title, went in the ring with it. The ref saw it, grabbed it, went to hand it away. As the ref handed it away, he had his ring on, his diamond ring, hits Tanahashi. The ref finally turns around while he's pinning him, and he gets the win. So.
See, I didn't see him grab the belt. I just saw the ring.
Yeah, so he had gotten the belt, and the referee caught it as soon as he went in the ring with it. And then the ref was like calling someone to come and grab it, and that's what kept him to distract. And then MJF grabbed the ring out of the tights. So typical MJF win. I figured he was going to win here, but a really better match than I expected after Collision.
Oh hell
yeah. Here on, we had CM Punk in an Owen Hart tournament match against Satoshi Kojima, and Kojima is, I believe, in his 40s to 50s, and this match was fucking incredible. There was so many times that I thought Punk was gonna lose. Kojima looked so good. There was actually one point Kojima went up and hit a elbow drop, but he hit him right in the balls, like clean as day, right in the sack. And I was like, I felt that myself. I was like, oh, I was like, oh my god. And then Punk was like selling the shit, and obviously
his future children are feeling that one, dude.
Dude, that was one of the craziest elbow drops I've ever seen. Like legit to the sack. And I feel like some wrestlers that are obviously not wearing cups, sometimes you're able to tell. I'm hoping he was wearing one.
Seemed to recover pretty well from it pretty fast.
He did. I think at one point he hit a knee, and commentary goes, ooh, got him back there. Because they're like, that's the receipt. I think obviously just a missed timing by Kojima.
Yeah.
I think that was just commentary trying to add to the match. But yeah, I actually felt bad for Punk there for once. But no, it was a really good match. There was even a really good brainbuster by Kojima towards the end before Punk was kind of healing it up almost. I mean, in Toronto, Kenny Omega fans, he's from Canada, so he was very audibly getting booed more than there was a lot of loud CM Punk chants though, but they would happen and then the crowd would immediately, the other side would boo the fuck out of them.
You wouldn't even hear him after a few seconds.
It was like a John Cena type of thing back in the day. But what did you think of this match overall, Kojima and Punk?
It really solid. It at the beginning, I felt it didn't keep my attention, but as it started to pick up, it really got fucking good.
That's a lot of like New Japan AEW matches for me. Like they'll start out, not all of them, but like a good amount will start off really slow and then just I don't know where you're like going a million miles an hour. You're like, what just happened? They were just doing rest holds for 5 minutes and now they're fucking flipping, going crazy. But he had a GTS for the win. He did pick up Kojima after the victory, from being down. And I thought he would maybe hit him with another GTS here, but he actually just shook his hand. So I was kind of expecting more heelish stuff in Toronto, but
the heel Punk turn, but
he's still face, so they're keeping him that way. Excuse me. Orange Cassidy defended his AEW International title against Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia.
Talking about a match that actually started out fast, dude.
This match started fast and never slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
The only time it would slow down is when OC tried to do his shtick, which he started with. He put his hand in his pocket and he started kicking them all. That's what I liked, is how it started. So he did the thing where he put his hands in his pocket, started kicking them, and then he went to go for like a full-blown kick, I think on, I want to say Garcia or Sabre Jr. And then they caught the kick, and then they threw it the foot to Garcia. They threw the foot to Shibata. They threw it back. They were like playing hot potato with his foot. That cracked me up. But no, yeah, it was crazy. Zack Sabre Jr. and Shibata, when they would go toe to toe, was ridiculous. Shibata, if you don't know, infamously ended his career for a bit by headbutting Okada legitly.
Really?
And gave him like some type of, I don't know if it was like a brain bleed, but he fucked his brain up pretty badly.
What the fuck?
And so he was out for a few years, 3-4 years, and then he came back. So yeah, it's scary with Shibata sometimes when he does things, but because he's very stiff. But this match, one thing I'll say is I hate Daniel Garcia's dance. Stupid little like whatever it is where he shakes his hips, dude. Oh my god. But dude, this match was great. Who did you have winning? Did you think OC was gonna win, or did you think he was losing it?
Yeah, I had OC winning. Dude, right, and one thing I loved about it right off the bat when they started going fast, and he did that little reversal to the jumping outside, and dude.
Oh, OC.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, OC. He, I think it was the last pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, and then he was like doing his post-match press conference. I honestly think he's one of the best wrestlers today. Someone asked him in that post-match press conference at Double or Nothing, like, do you think that you're up there with one of the best wrestlers today? And he was like, no way, or something like just very like straight up, like, no. I think he is. He is so fucking good.
He's just fun to watch.
Yeah, he does his shtick of like being all funny hands, barely tapping you, whatever. But like when he wrestles, dude, holy fuck, is he like insane? But in the end, OC retained. I honestly thought we were going to see a new champion here. We did have a confrontation, though, at the end. Zack Sabre Jr. grabbed OC's title that the ref was about to give to him. And then it looked like he was going to hold it up. And then Shibata came in, grabbed it, gave it to OC. They all kind of stood there with their own titles. The only one that didn't have one was Garcia. He had stepped out already. I thought so. Maybe they're setting up like another match between Zack Sabre and OC at the All In the UK. Sabre being from the UK, so
that'd be pretty fucking cool.
I think that'd be great. I love Sabre just because it's funny because Rick G's always like, I want to see a submission specialist, like MMA submission specialist in like wrestling. That's him. That's who that is. Sabre Jr. is ridiculous. Another one being Bryan Danielson. We'll talk about what he did tonight.
Yeah.
After that, we had the IWGP World Heavyweight title, Sonata and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I didn't expect a whole lot for this match, just because like both guys were like, when they were like talking about each other, like, we've never seen each other wrestle, so it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that information? But it was really freaking good. It was really good. I didn't expect it to be bad because of that, but like, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, I guess. They've been teasing Jungle Boy going heel here. Do you think tonight was the night before this match even started?
After the not when it started, but after the end, they did my boy Jungle Boy dirty.
Well, Jungle Boy lost cleanly. Sonata hit a top rope moonsault, got the pin 1, 2, 3. In the end, Hook came and picked him up, hugged him, started carrying him out. They go up to the ramp. At the very top of the stage, they turn around to wave to the crowd. Jungle Boy clotheslines Hook, takes him out, grabs his FTW title, and tossed it back at Hook. So Jungle Boy's heel.
That's going to be a fire match.
Does he go with Christian and Luchasaurus back with them?
I don't think so, because I think they kind of got their thing going on, and I think him and Hook's going to be a storyline. But I love Hook and Jungle Boy, so it makes me sad but happy.
Jungle Hook is over, man. I got to see them do their last tag team match together in Colorado.
Did
their match against Preston and Jalistico. That match was wild. But I'm curious. Do you think they're gonna give Jungle Boy the FTW title from Hook? I feel like that title really doesn't mean much.
No, I don't. The only time I've seen the title is with Hook, so I've never seen it before.
So prior to Hook, so it was kind of like there was a faction prior that was it was Team Taz. It was Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, and then they added in Hook, and then they added in Powerhouse Hobbs, and then so it started as Brian Cage as the FTW champion, and then he lost it to Starks, and then Starks lost it to Hook. I think. I don't know. Hobbs might have had it at one point. Anyways, so they've all eventually had it in the faction. So he was the last one, and then Team Taz disbanded at one point. And he's had it ever since. And he's defended it, but it's never felt like anything of importance. Like the way they introduced it was made initially in ECW from Taz, because they were like, there was a storyline where like they weren't giving him a world title shot, so he created his own title called the Fuck the World title. That's where that's from. And so they did the same thing with Brian Cage and Taz when Jon Moxley's wife caught COVID. They did the whole storyline like, oh, he's scared. They're claiming he's sick, but he's scared. So fuck the world. He's the champion. They brought it back. So now it's just kind of been passed down since then. So I don't know. I don't know if he threw it at Hook. He didn't really hold it up, but I'm curious if they're gonna have someone else win that title.
As much as I love Jungle Boy, I think him losing this, and then maybe I think they should give him a bigger title than this, because he's fantastic.
Yeah, so he's had a lot of titles. So he's been a tag team champion, Jungle Boy, with Luchasaurus. I don't think he's won a singles title. No, I know he hasn't won the TNT or international. Obviously, that one's more new. But he's had a lot of I think he's had like 2 world title opportunities. One was in a triple threat with like OC or no, it might not, but it just might have been one-on-one. Anyways, he's had a few title opportunities, but he's never held a single title. So I don't know. I would agree. I think he should get something besides that title, unless he's going to be the one to bring that to relevancy again.
That's what I was thinking.
But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him being heel. He just feels too likable.
He's just everyone loves him. They do that.
Like it's like with Sammy, like they try to make him face, but he just feels too much, like too easy to hate. I don't know. We'll see what they go for. I don't know. I really don't know where they're gonna go with him and Hook. But
time will tell.
Next part. Next was this big blow off to Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite, Hangman Page, Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. Fucking incredible, fucking 10-man tag. Like every match was just so good in this show. Like it was just nonstop. It was a long show too. It was 4 hours plus. Like it ended just above 4 hours. But what was really interesting in this match, besides it being super hard hitting, was at one point Eddie Kingston, who's not really, he says he doesn't like the Elite, doesn't like Hangman, but he was having his issues with Claudio and Mox. At one point, he saves Moxley from getting BTE triggered from the Young Bucks, which I did not expect. I thought that he would eventually cost them the match here after that.
Dude, it caught me so off guard when he did that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I legit did the whole cradle on my seat type of thing. That was it. But he did eventually come back and break up a pin. I think Moxley was pinning one of the Bucks or something, and he broke
something like that. Yeah.
But in the end, the guy that he picked, Tomohiro Ishii from New Japan, was the one who got the win. He in on Yuta with a sheer drop brainbuster, which was fucking brutal. But man, this match, surprisingly, no Moxley blood.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for him to start bleeding.
They saved the blood a lot later on, so there was a lot of blood at some point. But I expected something from Mox blood, but I was surprised he didn't. Yeah, so it was interesting too, because after the Bucks and Hangman and Ishii and them won, and Kingston was still visibly yelling at the Bucks. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get something with him and the Elite still, or I feel like we're not, obviously, because Kenny had his own thing going on tonight with Ospreay. I feel like we're obviously not done with Callis, which we'll talk about, and BCC and the Elite. I don't know where that's going exactly after this, because the Elite and them won. So I think we're going maybe to Blood and Guts. That's my guess.
Ooh.
Because we had Shuda help tonight, but I think we'll get, obviously, Bryan Danielson could be involved in the Blood and Guts as well as Kenny. And you could add in Ibushi, Kota Ibushi. I don't know if you know much about him from New Japan. He was a team with Kenny, known as the Golden Lovers. And very great tag team. Kota Ibushi, another great wrestler. He's probably one of the best ever at the time when he was at his peak. He's been out for a while because he had his issues with New Japan. So he sat out for a while, came back this year's WrestleMania working indies. But a lot of people, a lot of diehards of New Japan, AEW want to see him come in. So I'm thinking that's where we're going, probably, hopefully, Blood and Guts with Ibushi involved.
Maybe.
I think a lot of the AEW diehards, including myself, will probably cry a little bit.
Just a little bit
After
of
that,
tears.
right, just a little manly tears. How do I stay energized while I'm editing my content all day for TikTok and live streaming on Twitch? Well, that's easy. I drink G Fuel. G Fuel Energy comes in these tubs with 40 servings, 140 milligrams of caffeine, no sugar, low calories, and no additive flavors. It locks me in with good focus and energy throughout the day to keep me going and staying at the top of my game. Use my code HEALJOSH, saves you 20% off when you make purchases off the G Fuel website. There's also energy cans that come in 140 milligrams of caffeine and 300 milligrams of caffeine. You could also get those at Vitamin Shop, GNC, and many more. Check out gfuel.com for a store near you or order off the website where you use my code to save 20%. After that, Toni Storm defeated Willow Nightingale for her AEW Women's title. Again, Willow is fucking ridiculous.
My God.
Toni, obviously great as well. I think she's one of the best wrestlers in the women division in AEW, but Willow has impressed against everyone she faces. I've been seeing that as well. I don't know. Do you have a ghost? Is it the ghost of Christmas Past?
I don't know.
I've noticed that, but I haven't wanted to say anything.
No, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't have lights on, dude. I have no lights.
I don't know what that is either. I've seen that flashing here and there, and sometimes it stops. Yeah, it's like a white thing, right?
If there's a ghost, do it again. Imagine if it fucking did it, dude.
Dude, I've been noticing that, but I've ignored it because that's like it's not even like messing with your quality. It just appears and disappears.
Oh, it's so weird. I'm terrified now.
Oh man, it's Vince McMahon fucking with us. I'm just kidding.
Vince.
I've seen that though. I've been seeing that here and there. That's fucking weird. But yeah, so Toni and Willow though, what was your thoughts on this women's title match?
Really good, I thought, but I don't know. I feel like Willow was better than Toni.
I mean, we had Saraya and Ruby get tossed out. Like halfway into the match, and that made me believe that Willow was gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
But fucking Toni had to rake her eyes. I think they distracted. So Toni had the spray can, is what it was. So Toni Storm had the spray can. The ref saw it. The ref grabbed it and turned around. And when she did that, she grabbed Willow like they did like a lockup. She raked her eyes, and then she hit her in the Storm Zero and got the win.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like they're going to have Willow be the one to eventually dethrone her. They're going to run it back.
That would be crazy.
I feel like they're going to do something like they did with Thunder Rosa and Britt, where Britt initially kept defeated her. And then like a bit later, Rosa beat her. Actually, that might've been within a few weeks of each other. But still, I think that's where they're going to go.
I was thinking we might see a tag match soon. Cause didn't Sky Blue come out after? Or was it Sky Blue?
So they actually teamed up on the first Collision, I believe.
Did they?
I believe it was Willow and Sky versus Toni and Ruby on the first Collision.
Damn, I must have missed that.
I think I might be wrong, but I don't know. They could do something. Maybe I felt like someone was gonna come out and help Toni tonight. That wasn't Saraya and Ruby because they got tossed out. I thought maybe Shida. But Shida has been like helping against them, but I don't know why I thought that, I guess. But from there, match of the year contender was right after that.
Dude,
it was so hard to follow this match. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, blood everywhere, stiff as fuck. So the initial start of the match, it was essentially Kenny was hanging on the ropes at like literally 3 minutes into the match. He was hanging on the top rope. Will Ospreay hit, I believe it was just shooting star press to his back or something for 50. And then he tossed Kenny outside. They go to the commentary and he's driving Kenny's head and Kenny's not doing the whole, it's like, you know, in wrestling, you see them like brace, kind of like they'll just bounce off their hand or whatever. Kenny was not doing any of that. Kenny was legit just boom, head first into this whatever plastic, wooden, whatever it is, 3 times. It was terrifying.
Then he fucking picks it up and fucking drops him through it.
Yeah, and then immediately after he's bleeding like fucking crazy. Oh, we have a friend joining us. Oh, welcome and to our friend ChefKuppy joining us while we're talking about Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. Can you hear us, our friend?
I don't think you can hear us.
He is working on it. Once he gets it working, we will hear him. But Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. After that, it was quite a bit after that. But so Kenny was bleeding really bad, like heavily, and eventually they do a spot on the stairs where he gets those still stairs, the diamond. What do they call them? The diamond encrusted stairs,
something like that.
And so he picks them and he puts them on the side. They're not like the WWE stairs where you could take the top 2 stairs separate and then the bottom 2. It's one set of 4 stairs, and they're hollow, obviously. But they flip them up and they're stiff as fuck. They can stand on it, so they stand on it. And then they do the DDT. He DDTs Ospreay on that, and he is leaking. I actually got a footage of eventually at one point during the match.
Dude, the pool of blood that it left, even on the stairs after, because he was bashing his head into it before he did the DDT too.
Yeah, so this was later on during the match, but this is when it was its most extreme. This is from No DQ's Twitter page. But Kenny was at this point, his blood was dry, but Ospreay throughout, and the match was over 30 minutes. So eventually he wasn't like that. It was all dried up. But the majority of the time when it first happened, it was everywhere. The mat, the floor. It was on the side of the stairs. Like
there was one point that Kenny's chest was just covered in like Will's blood or somebody's blood.
Yeah, it was really, really nuts. So this match, though, match of the fucking year contender. Like there is, in my opinion, their first match was match of the year for this year already. But now this,
I think this will take it, honestly.
Yeah, this one, the matches even after, I don't think beat it. Like
no,
it was that freaking good. It was so good. Kuppy was trying to join us. He was going to be here at the beginning from us, but his internet dropped. I think he's still trying to figure out his audio situation for using this talk studio that we're using. But hopefully he gets in here towards the end so we can at least ask him some of his thoughts of the show.
Yeah.
But what was your overall thoughts of this whole match? Like anything stand out to you? Anything that you want to point out that you loved about this match? Hated it?
The back and forth. There were so many times I thought it was over. So many times. And it just kept fucking going. And then Will, obviously, with the blood.
Yes, he licked the blood of Kenny. So this was before Will was even buzzed open. That's right. I totally forgot. He licked Kenny's blood that was on his arm. Pulled if you're an MMA fan, that's BJ Penn. We used to lick the blood off his gloves.
Really?
Yeah. So BJ Penn was like one of the more early on popular lightweights of the UFC division. He would beat guys, and if there was blood, sometimes I think there was at one point he actually didn't have the blood on the gloves, so he went up to his guy who had blood that he beat, and he just like got it in a.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So shout out BJ Penn. That's what it made me think of was Will Ospreay doing that. And yeah. These two, it was like the way I thought of it was like when you're playing 2K with your buddy, 2K, and then you hit the reversals nonstop back and forth. Nonstop. You just time it so perfect every single time. Hello, Kuppy. Can you hear us?
Now I can. I had to restart my thing.
You caught you joining in the podcast right as we're discussing the Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega. I saw that. Yes. Damn. So what was your thoughts on that IWGP US title match?
I love that.
Oh no!
Oh no! Dude.
After all of that, dude, and he fucking DC's again.
Oh, he's back?
Oh, we're back. He's back.
Bro, I'm gonna cry.
Whatever your Canadian internet is, they suck a toe right now.
Literally. But I'd say it was probably match of the year for me. I loved it. It was a fucking fantastic match.
In January?
I did. I watched in Discord. Remember, we all watched in court.
Yeah,
that's right. I forget easily. I'm sorry. So compared to that match, what would you say? Do you think this one was better?
I like this one better. Yeah.
So they followed the New Japan rules, I believe, too, right? Didn't they? Because it was IWGP. So I believe there was a 20 ring count out and like all there. So I loved it because like at first I was like, this is gonna be different. It's an AEW, but it was the same rule set.
That's awesome.
But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Did you guys have Kenny winning going in, or did you think Ospreay?
I wanted Kenny, but I figured Will was gonna win it back.
So I figured Don would do something since he made the offer to Will. I believe it was on Wednesday, saying like, "I'll have my security there for you," because Kenny's been saying all this shit about you, and there's gonna be people there to jump you. All this, it's doing it again. You got a ghost, dog. What's going on, right?
I don't know.
He's had a ghost, like a white flash, like in this area. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Holy shit.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Put your hand there. Put your hand there, like over it.
Looks like we're having a lot of issues tonight there.
Well, it's weird because he doesn't have a light, so we don't know what that could be. Unless it's something from this overlay that we're using on this.
Well, no, because it moved us up, remember? Because when Kyle joined, we were down lower.
Oh, that's right. So it's still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? So we'll just do this so we don't see it anymore. But yeah, no, I agree. I think this does top their first match. Oh no, it's making you guys lag. Oh, okay, there we go. That's better. Like you guys kept freezing.
I was trying to reposition myself.
No, there we go. That's better because it was kind of like laggy for some reason that way. Growing pains. We're trying this. This is the first time we're using this talk studio, but it's really cool. We're really enjoying it. Yeah, I think this was match of the year. Both their matches, 1 and 2. Like I don't want to like last year. I think when I did my whole like Kliq awards or whatever the fuck I called them, I think I did that where I had the FTR Briscoes as like 1A 1B, but like this one is like there's no 1A 1B. It's 1 and 2. Like those are just the top.
Oh, yeah.
And I expect a third match after what happened tonight.
The Joshies.
With the Joshies. There you go. I couldn't remember the name, but I expect a third match. Maybe All In.
All In, maybe.
They have to do Wembley.
That would be in the UK. It'd be the perfect place because they just had it in Canada. Yes, it wasn't in Winnipeg, but it was still in Canada. So
I have a question. You weren't here when we talked about the CM Punk match, Kuppy. As a Canadian yourself, what was your thoughts on the crowd reaction to CM Punk the last couple nights in Canada? There was a lot of cheers, but a lot more boos.
I'm more on the boo side because CM Punk, with the stuff that he's done, I mean, I'm trying to get past it, but like, he's good in the ring. He obviously shows it, and he's good on the mic. He's great at it. But as a person, I don't know. I don't know if I can cheer him. I don't know if I should boo him.
Well, obviously, Kenny Omega being Canadian plays a part in it.
Yeah.
Are you would you call yourself a huge Kenny Omega fan in general?
I'd say I'm a fan of the Elite, but I wouldn't say a huge fan. Just because I didn't know of them really until AEW. Because I wasn't huge into the wrestling scene of all that besides WWE and Ring of Honor and a couple of others. But you see, I get the name wrong. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you.
Yeah. I want to say
still trying to learn all of that stuff. I've recently gone into that. I recently watched it more because of you. So
yeah. What were you say, Ray?
I just want to butt in and say if I lag or disconnect, it's because there's a fucking horrible storm overtopping right now. So
well, we're close to finishing. We have a few more matches to talk about, but I just thought I'd ask him about his thoughts on CM Punk since he just joined in.
He was a good match, dude.
Yeah. So, but this match, there's nothing topping Omega Ospreay. We had 2 more matches, I believe, after this, or 3.
We had the Chris Jericho and the JS
we only had
versus
2. That's right.
Yeah, Sting.
So yeah, after that match, we go into the Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, Sammy Guevara match, taking on Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Naito. This match was definitely not the worst thing I've ever seen. Not bad at all, honestly. But in comparison to what we had witnessed prior, definitely was a different pace. Interesting because usually with matches and Sting in the past like that, they've actually over-delivered. There was one spot here that scared everyone, obviously, in the arena. Sammy went... So I think Sting had the Scorpion Deathlock on Jericho, the sharpshooter, if you will. And Sammy came in. Jericho was telling Sammy, help. So Sammy goes to the corner. He goes to do the cutter from the top while he has the Sting's in the position. He overshoots, lands on Sting's upper head and neck. And the whole crowd reacts and then is silent. It is so quiet for the next 3 minutes.
I must have missed that. I don't remember seeing that.
So Sting takes that nasty bump. The ref checks on him, obviously. He gets up, he takes a double clothesline or something. Which I was like, okay, he took another bump. That's good. They threw him at the ropes and he hit the clothesline.
It was crazy.
And then he finished the match, but there was a few times towards the end. There was a spot right at the end where he was going to come in and break something up. I don't remember who he was going at. But I think it might have been Suzuki, and he came in and he went up against the ropes in the corner, and he stood there, and then he acted like he was about to leave again, and then he ran at whoever and attacked him. I was like, what the fuck is Sting doing? But I'm hoping he's okay. I'm assuming he was since he finished the match, but he's like 63 now, something like that.
Oh my god, is he really?
Yeah, so that was scary. That scared the fuck out of me. Did you see that, Cuppy, when that happened?
I did. I was watching.
Oh, dude, I yelled like fucking Sammy or something, dumbass Sammy or something. Of course, Sarah was home by that time, so in the chat she was like, "You leave Sammy alone." I was like, "He could have killed Sting."
He could have killed Sting.
I don't know. This match, I guess it was just because it was mainly following the Osprey Omega, but this match was definitely a cool down match for the main event.
No, dude. I feel like they should have swapped the orders. Put the Jericho match and then the Will and Kenny.
Yeah, I think in the end it should have been Omega and Osprey in the main event.
1,000%.
Yeah, I agree.
Then again, though, I understand why Bryan and Okada was the main event, and it's delivered. We'll go on and talk about that now because I thought this match
I was just about to say that. Literally exact words.
This match
It started exactly how I expected it to, with the bell ringing and the crowd just immediately standing ovation. Not one punch or move was initiated, and they were already standing.
And Shannon, this is awesome because
it was just like when Bryan took on Omega in Bryan's first match in AEW.
History.
Two legends, dude.
At one point in the match, so it was hard hitting. It was a stiff match. They were going back and forth, delivering some big moves to each other, big hard hitting uppercuts. So at one point, I believe they were doing uppercuts back and forth to each other. What's that?
I was gonna say before we get into the wrestling type, I'm happy that Bryan Danielson got the fucking final countdown back.
Thank you. I keep forgetting to talk about that, and I haven't posted my reaction to that yet. Yes, he finally got the final countdown, his indie theme back. That was epic as fuck. And it's always funny to see him when he gets the big reactions he does like that, and especially for something like that. The crowd, as soon as they all, when he got on the top rope and they said the final, he the biggest grin on his face. He could, it's supposed to be a heel, and he's over here smiling at the crowd. I thought that was funny. I don't think I said that out loud. Yeah, he's like a Canadian. I don't even know where he's from. I think he's from
from Seattle or Washington. Yeah,
somewhere in Washington. So he's close to Canada, so he has a little bit of that Canada in him, I guess.
Yeah, he's just a South Canadian.
But yeah, I totally forgot. I skipped that. Yeah, that was That's great
west, isn't it?
Well, it's south.
Yeah, it's Canada northwest. But in the end, this match was really hard hitting. So the thing I was going to bring up was Bryan Danielson at one point. I don't remember what move Okada hit, but Bryan Danielson was down on the mat and he started convulsing. And so I don't know if you guys know this, but there was, I go on Reddit quite a bit. So there was this big debacle on R Squared Circle for a bit of, I don't even say debacle, just this weird thing where people thought there was a match where Bryan in WWE had a seizure. This was right when he announced his retirement, this all started. So anyways, it was him doing a cell, and people thought he was after the fact that he retired, oh, this is where he had his crazy moment or whatever. So it was ironic to me that he's there and he's doing this fucking convulsing shit. And the camera's all on him, looks like he's having a seizure. And I was like, oh my God.
Dude,
obviously they're not going to show him really having a seizure.
Yeah.
The fact that they're going to that, that's what I felt like that was all in a reply to, was that.
When it first started, it genuinely scared me for a second because I thought something was actually wrong
happening.
And I was like,
I did too for a bit, but I figured once the camera zoomed, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he kind of gave it away that okay, he's doing some shit.
Yeah, he's just fucking around. But dude, the finish. So Danielson actually did kick out of a Rainmaker, which is Okada's finisher at one point.
Which is an amazing move.
Yes. And Danielson hit plenty of the running knees. I think they call them the psycho knees. He hit yes kicks. Okada was being typical Okada, just stiff, great seller, doing great reversals. So Bryan finally locks in the label lock, but Okada doesn't tap. So he modifies and starts bending his arms, moving his legs and around
all the way around,
and just doing different things until Okada taps.
I was surprised.
I expected him to get out and them to do a few more big spots and then a finish. But he straight up just was stuck in a submission for a minute and a half, and then he tapped.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have another match. especially at
they
All
have
In.
to. Someone had told me in the Twitch chat that was his first submission loss that he tapped since 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Damn,
almost a
10
decade.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
years.
Pog
8
was
years.
saying it was
That's
Shinsuke,
crazy.
the last person.
Yeah, Shinsuke was the last person to tap Okada.
That's crazy.
That is
dude.
insane. But this whole pay-per-view was insane.
Pay-per-view of the year so far.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said at the start, even though I was at WrestleMania, this has to be pay-per-view year. Like this was
I wish I went to this pay-per-view. 2 hours away.
You should have, dude.
Well, I'm sure it was pricey as hell though.
It was.
I have to ask, what did you think, Cuppy, of the Orange Cassidy matchup, the Fatal 4-Way?
Loved it.
Did you think he was going to retain, or did you think someone else?
I thought he was going to retain.
Really? I actually thought
wanted
he was
him
going to
to
lose
win.
to Shibata here or something. Or
I was
Sabre.
hoping for
That would have been crazy.
I would have been
Shibata
fine with
winning.
Sabre winning, but if Rick's listening, sorry. He won, so I'm happy. But I would have been okay if it was Sabre who did it. I'm glad he didn't, though. That's my point. What did you think of the 5v5 Cuppy, the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club?
Oh, that match was fucking great. You see, before Will and Kenny happened, I thought that match was gonna be the Steeler because that match was fucking epic.
The story for it has been
They were going
fantastic.
back and forth, and then Eddie saving Moxley over the Elite was kind of crazy. I was like, oh,
yes,
shit. I thought something was gonna
We had brought that up when we were talking about it before you joined in. That part freaked me out when he saved Mox.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's weird because he was talking so much shit to him and then just kept, just to save him. It is in that one spot. He eventually did break up a pin for Matt or Nick getting pinned by one of them too. But
one thing we didn't talk about is they chopped each other in the ring for fucking 3 minutes straight.
Back and forth.
Oh, who?
Mox and
Eddie.
Really, I don't remember it being that.
Were
long.
there?
Yeah,
I know. You're probably right. I just don't remember it lasting that long. I bet you're 1,000% right. I just didn't feel that long. I guess when I was watching it,
dude,
they were throwing
brutalness
slaps back and forth,
going fucking ham on each other, dude.
Do you think the BCC Elite feud's over after that Cuppy, or is it going somewhere else? I feel like that's not it, especially with Kenny being in the Ospreay match and Danielson being in the
have a full
match.
Team rivalry, and Eddie somehow switches sides or something, and I don't know.
Okay, so I was telling Ryan this. So I don't know how much you know about New Japan and Kenny Omega's history there, but he was in a group with another tag team called the Golden Lovers with Kota Ibushi.
I didn't know this.
So Kota Ibushi and him had a great team. There was also so Kenny's always very open about supporting LGBTQ and trans and all that stuff. So they would do spots sometimes where they would end up kissing each other. This is in their DDT days. So they've known each other from another promotion, Japan DDT, and then New Japan, and then now. So I'm wanting this to go on the feud between the Elite and BCC. I want them to hopefully come out and attack the Elite on Wednesday or something again because they lost.
Yeah.
But I want it to go to where we see Brian get involved again, and then Kenny obviously get back involved. But you need someone else because you got Takeshita on that side. I think you need to add Kota Ibushi and make it Blood and Guts, which is their war games.
Blood and Guts, yes.
Yeah.
Blood and Guts.
So I think that's where this is going. What do you think?
Which is crazy. If they do go down that route and Eddie stays on the Elite, the last time they were in Blood and Guts, Moxley and Eddie were on the same team.
I don't know if Eddie would be on this though. I think he might do something separately.
That's different.
He might. I think. I don't know. Because he says he doesn't like the Elite or hanging out.
Yeah. You see, that's why I'm I don't know.
So I think we'll see Ibushi join in, be announced last minute. This is the last, or at the event or something. What I think they should do is they should do Blood and Guts at All In.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Because every time they've done it, it's been on Dynamite, and then they get the commercials and picture, so it kind of takes you out of it. I hate that. Especially for that type of match.
If they do it in front of a crowd that big, yeah.
Exactly. 65,000 plus.
That Wembley Stadium.
Please do it, Tony. I don't care if you have to have 2 rings in the middle of Wembley and you already have it set up for 1. Do it. Obviously, I don't think they're going to, since tickets have already been sold and they have the layout. I don't think they're going to change that. But it would be dope. That's what I want them to do. Obviously, with the seating map already out, that's not where it's going. So at least there, maybe before it. Because I think All In's not till August. So we're still quite a bit away.
Few months, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what else they could do to keep extending this till then, but I'm sure something because it's been good so far. BCC in the week. I've enjoyed the fuck out of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know though. Eddie Kingston being a part of it was weird to begin with too. I always thought.
And he only dislikes Claudio. That's it. He only dislikes Claudio.
If he dislikes one person on the I almost said the BBC. BCC. Oh, sorry. But he doesn't like multiple people on the team he was on. It just doesn't make sense why he doesn't go to the other one. That's what I was thinking.
I mean, he doesn't like Claudio. I don't know if he doesn't like anyone else on BCC, but I don't know. He seems to just dislike a lot of people in general.
Yeah.
That's Eddie Kingston, dude.
It is. It really is. Want to support your favorite WWE superstar and myself all at the same time? Well, if you purchase stuff off of WWE Shop, use my WWE Shop affiliate link. That's www.www.shop.sjv.io/6EYP5Q. Using that link when you purchase anything off of WWE Shop will kick money back my way and help support my content and the future of my content. So make sure you guys use that link when you make your WWE Shop purchases to support me and your favorite superstars. Kingston. But we got AEW Dynamite this week, so we'll have the fallout of the pay-per-view there. I don't think they announced much. Actually, I think they did announce some stuff.
The one thing I hope they do on Wednesday for Dynamite is like showing like Jungle Boy and Huck like somehow like having a segment.
So I think they definitely will. What was that?
Crying because Jungle Hook's over.
Actually, it looks like here during during this or probably before that we started doing this, they had the Forbidden Door post conference, like the post pay-per-view conference. So Chris Jericho and Sting this Wednesday are going to be in tag team action against each other. Ooh. So I guess Sting was doing his segment backstage during his interview with Darby, and Sammy and Jericho interrupted, and they're going to do a tornado tag this Wednesday.
Ooh. I saw a tweet while we were sitting here talking. Apparently, Jericho picked up a water bottle and hit it with his bat during that, and it hit some dude in the front row in the face, and he started bleeding.
I didn't know if that was bleeding.
Whoever that was, I hope they're okay. I don't see anything about it in what I'm reading.
Apparently, he was fine, but it's funny.
Man, poor person. The only other thing that it looks like is announced for Wednesday is Britt Baker, Ruby Soho for the Owen Hart Cup. So those are the only two things as of right now that I can see are announced for Wednesday. I don't know if they have anything announced for Collision as well this coming Saturday. So, but we got Money in the Bank Saturday as well. Let's actually talk about that real quick. What is your? Let's talk about the card real quick, and then we'll do our predictions to wind this down. Because I know you joined in late, Cuppy, so you missed a lot of it. But we'll do predictions here.
My Wi-Fi,
stupid internet,
fucking shit. So
right as we were joining like into this whole thing, we were getting ready, and you completely lagged.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
All right, so right now we have the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match: Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Io Sky, Bailey, Zelina, and Becky. Who do you guys have winning that?
Io Sky. I was so fast and determined to that.
Io Sky or Zelina. Those are my two.
What about you, Josh?
I think we'll see. Okay, so I don't know what they're doing with Bailey and Shotzi, if we'll get that this coming Friday. If not, with this lineup, I'm going to think Bailey, Trish, and... I'm sorry, not Bailey, Trish. I think Trish, Zoe, and Becky all stop each other from winning.
Yeah.
I think Bailey and Io fight with each other somehow. That stopped them from winning. And then I think that leaves Zelina as the winner.
Yeah, Zelina could win. I could see it.
They just all get distracted, do their own thing, and don't even notice.
Kind of like a Nikki Ash thing from a few years ago. They're all fighting top of ladder type of bullshit. And
Nikki wins.
Yeah, I can see something similar, but not that exact spot. Like Becky, Zoe, and Trish all brawling.
Yeah.
Or they're them jumping Becky, not paying attention to Zelina, while Io and Bailey yell with each other, and then Zelina's like, "I got it."
She just does a little look back and forth, and just
yeah, exactly, the comedic type of spot.
Grabs it.
I got Zelina there. We got Seth Rollins against Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title. Who do you guys got winning?
It's so hard to choose between the both, but I want Seth to win.
I love Seth, dude. But I just think they're trying to build the Judgment Day, so I'm going with Finn.
I also feel like they're building the Judgment Day for like maybe someone leaving, because they had where Finn wasn't happy until he got his match. And, he was like wasn't like talking to them really backstage till he got it, and then he was all happy. And then he's been attacking Seth. He attacked him on Raw that night for his open challenge this past Monday.
Which was
he attacked
amazing.
him on NXT after he retained. I hate to say it because I love Finn and I think he's one of my favorites right now, but I think Seth retains. I don't know how, but I don't think Judgment Day helps Finn. That's what I think. I think Finn will expect some type of help, doesn't get it, and then blames them.
Mm-hmm. I think either way, everyone, well, maybe not everyone, most people will still be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy if Finn were to win as well. What's interesting is if Finn does win, Damian Priest is in the men's Money in the Bank.
And if he won.
Exactly. So they have many options they could do here.
Well, but also,
if Finn wins, Damian cashes in on him if he were to win too.
That too.
But Damian, you can also cash it on any champion now.
That's true. They did talk about cashing it in on Gunther's title.
Would Finn want to go after a lower? Not Damian. My bad.
I don't know. I mean, didn't Gunther and Damian have like a stare down or something on Monday?
Did.
I mean, we all know who's winning. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Ricochet, Santos, Butch, and Damian Priest. Who do you guys got?
LA Knight.
LA Knight, dude.
Sarah's kind of convinced me that they wouldn't put Logan Paul for him to lose at this point, but I really think he's not winning. But she's kind of convinced me, like, I don't know, he might win.
I think it's either going to be LA Knight or Logan Paul, because like I said earlier, they're going to get the loudest fucking pops.
Yeah, it's either going to be a screw over or the vast majority vote gets to win.
Okay, might as well have him wear the Prime uniform again. Or Jake. We've had both so far show up at points.
They have teased Jake.
Well, Jake showed up when he faced Roman and tried to help him against Roman.
Yeah,
and then the Usos beat him up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Honestly,
yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, that was at Crown Jewel, right?
Yep. It was a good match too. This was when Logan, like, he had his phone and he did the elbow drop and that went viral. Like, dude, that was a good shot too, because I don't know how he was able to capture it.
Roman.
I'm going to go with LA Knight too. I could see it either being Logan, LA, or Damian, but I'm going to go with LA as well.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah. We also have Cody Rhodes and Dominic. Dominic is such a heat magnet. You could barely hear him talk if you're in the arenas. Usually you barely hear him on TV.
I hope
loud they boo him.
They get to have a mic somehow so we can see like how the crowd is with him, because like, I think already know it's gonna
be the UK crowd will do the craziest chants to him too.
I think they'll have him come out first, try and cut a promo, and Cody you'll just hear doo-doo.
I think that's the best way to go about it too. Like him and Rhea come out, because I don't think Rhea has a match announced. So
no, she doesn't.
That would be a good way to have Rhea come out with him and get the heat. Like she'll get cheered obviously, but he'll get the heat. And who do you guys have winning that though? Does Rhea and the Judgment Day help Dom? Does Cody finally get a win after losing to Brock? And he's still selling the broken arm. He still has the little cast on.
Mm-hmm. I think the best thing to do is have Dom win, because he's going to get even more heat. He's going to be talking about it every week. I beat Cody Rhodes. What do you got to say now?
How does that help Cody go in against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam?
Yeah, the rumor is Cody and Brock. So it could just be more adversity to think that we don't think he's going to win and he does it. I don't know. I do think it needs to be a stipulation between Cody and Brock at SummerSlam. But I don't know. I could see Cody winning here, but I think they might pull the trigger on Dom with the help of Rhea.
Yeah, that could happen.
So that's my prediction is Dom with the help of Judgment Day of some sort.
I think Cody wins, but
Rhea body slams
Cody. Who knows what could happen?
I will pop if she body slams Cody. I believe they announced on Friday in a lower third little portion that they're going to be having the women's tag titles on the line at Money in the Bank. They're not on WWE.com, but if they do happen, who do you guys have between Liv and Raquel versus Shayna and Ronda?
As much as I hate saying this, I love Liv Morgan and Raquel, but I think Shayna and Ronda are going to win.
I agree, unfortunately.
As much as I hate saying that.
We gotta go with Raquel. And
Raquel has looked good against her one-on-one against Ronda earlier this year, as well as her one-on-one with Shayna. It might have been last year with Ronda, but both matches she was dominating until the other got involved.
Yeah.
Well, at least with the Shayna one she got involved. So they make Raquel look hella strong alone against them.
Mm-hmm.
I
She's
want Raquel to go up against Rhea.
I think they're gonna do what Ryan said when we were talking about earlier, that they're gonna do where they just come in. One of them comes in last minute, hits a few moves, armbar. I'm hoping it's a good match at least. If right now it's not being advertised by WWE on WWE.com, so if it happens, I want Liv and Raquel. I just don't think they win, unfortunately.
It's tough to choose.
We also have, of course, the Bloodline Civil War Roman Solo versus the Usos.
The Silver
Man, I'm
Dome.
so fucking looking forward to the Bloodline Civil War. This storyline has been the best storyline telling in years in WWE.
It's cinematic. It's 100% cinematic.
Literally.
And the bad thing is, I don't know who the fuck is going to win.
No, you don't have a prediction yet?
I want the Usos to win, but I think it could go either fucking way, honestly.
Now, do we see somehow Usos win by like in Roman's out of the ring and like they super kick Solo and like Solo takes the pin obviously and like that looks bad on him and then we get like Solo versus Roman.
I think I don't know. I don't think we're gonna. I think by sometime this year we'll see Solo leave Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I want to happen. This is what I want to happen. I want Roman to somehow be brawling with like Jay on the outside or something, and Jimmy pin or somehow beat Solo.
Yeah,
and it lead to Jimmy Solo 1-on-1 at SummerSlam, and then Roman
that'd be a good match and
Jay for the undisputed title. I feel like Jay is 100% would be accepted by the crowd to defeat him because the way the whole bloodline started with Jay, at least coming back from when Roman was heel, was Jay not cooperating for the longest time until he finally did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would be okay. As much as I want it to be Cody to dethrone Roman, I'm okay with it being Jay.
Dude, main event Jey Uso with the title, dude.
So I want Roman and Solo to lose at Money in the Bank. I don't know. I could see them still setting that type of match, those two matches up with Roman and Solo winning. They could still do it that way. I would just like it to be the opposite.
Roman and Solo haven't been
because then it could also have Solo who took the pin. Sorry to like Roman be like, you lost, motherfucker, and it could slowly build to that separation as well. So I feel like that could be useful for many reasons.
The Usos just have them on the years for the chemistry of being as a tag team and taking the advantage together. So like, I just
that's true. So fun fact: I think Roman's first pinfall loss was in a tag match to the Usos when he was in the show.
Was.
So that was his first, the first pinfall he ate.
It was
really. I didn't know that.
So they could use that as well. So that was like 2014,
2013.
I'm hoping that this
She'll start 2012. So sometime.
I'm hoping this is the finale with like the Usos and Roman, and kind of starts that new chapter. Like we were saying, maybe Solo versus Roman or something that continues to break it down.
Like even if it were to do what I said and like it lead to just Roman and Jay at SummerSlam, I could still see like Paul or something helping Roman. And then it somehow coming full circle with Cody. Like no one's there to help you anymore. Like it could maybe lead to Solo and Roman to
Cody finishing the story.
Because none of them helped. So that would be cool. I would like that.
I could see that happening, honestly. Finishing the story, long-term storytelling.
Finishing at WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
Dude,
possible.
I think we talked about trying to go to that.
Like have someone win the Rumble, challenge Seth, and then just have somehow Cody get the match at Mania.
Oh my God.
Gunther and Seth at Mania.
But does Seth win or Gunther?
Gunther. I love Seth, but Gunther, man.
Does Gunther still have the IC title then?
No. He loses it.
Too.
I don't know. He loses it sometime before the Rumble, maybe.
LA Knight. I saw right away. LA Knight defeating him would be interesting. Obviously, I think they're both
they're on different brands, aren't they?
No, yeah. LA Knight's on
they're on different brands, yeah.
But it doesn't seem like this brand split matters anyways because we've already had obviously Money in the Bank, but we had LA Knight and other people just show up recently. So.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe he wins Money in the Bank and cashes in on LA Knight. On Gunther. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your
True.
Yeah.
I do want Gunther to break Honky Tonk's record of the longest
Same.
reigning IC
He deserves
champion.
to
I think
break
it
that
comes up
record.
here in
September.
Yeah, it's soon.
So it's very soon. It's in the next 3 months that he breaks that record. It's standard since the 80s. So I'm ready for that to end. Because when you think about the IC title, I just didn't grow up then. So it's like I grew up in the 90s. So I don't think of Honky Tonk. I think of like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor. And then in the 2000s you got like Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and more modern Miz, Dolph Ziggler and stuff. So
I would say Honky Tonk's like more when my dad was like watching.
Yeah, if I go early 90s, I'll think Ultimate Warrior too.
Yeah,
I don't think, and he's the one who actually dethroned Honky Tonk, which is funny. But
really,
yeah. So I don't think Honky Tonk, even though he has that record. So I'm excited to see him get that and him. I mean, every champion now in WWE has been like the longest reigning champion. So
yeah, Bianca,
Roman, and Gunther, and the Usos. So you have everyone holding. I think Theory is basically the longest reigning modern U.S. champion right now as well, just because they haven't done much with that belt.
Yeah, they haven't. You see, that's a belt I could see LA winning. Yeah,
I could see him winning that too, honestly. I mean, that's what me and Ryan were talking about too, is that because I said, where's Theory been the last 2 weeks? Where's AJ? Where's fucking Edge? Where Smackdown was, we saw the draft, we're like, damn, Smackdown got loaded. Where the fuck are all these people? Where are they at?
They got loaded and just fucking put him on the bench, it seems like,
Like, I mean, I know AJ was on just recently, but like he's considered a big name to me, so he wasn't on this past week.
Yeah.
Theory's been MIA 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck?
You wanna know who I want to see more of? The OC.
Exactly. AJ OC. Like that, like I know they have the feud going on right now with Cross, but like where are the Good Brothers? They haven't done much. As soon as AJ was injured, they just were like, all right, well, OC, you have to wait till he's back. Like, I think they were part of like battle royals and shit, but that was about it.
Dude, I love like Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'd love to see them like every
Even though I slandered them while we played 2K last night on stream.
Yeah. I love them.
I was slandering Luke more than anything.
I love him.
Hey, he does a better Finkel impression than me. So props to that. This is Howard Finkel. I can't see. I could only do announce Finkel. He could do talking Finkel. I could only do announcer Finkel.
Howard Finkel. Yeah, no.
It is now time for your Royal Rumble.
It's not even as good as his. His is way better.
It is now time. Yeah, no, I can't.
No, I'm excited for Money in the Bank though. UK crowd is gonna be lit. You already know they're gonna be chanting.
It's gonna be fucking epic.
I want to hear them chant some crazy derogatory shit to Roman.
You
Roman,
wanker.
the fucking wanker, with like a crazy clap in the background or some shit. I think they actually called Will Ospreay. Like the crowd was like, "You're still a wanker."
Yeah, literally
tonight. But that was Canada. I'm hoping the UK does their soccer chants.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Oh, you know what? I hope we get a hey Bailey.
Ooh, ah. I wanna know
if you'll be my girl. I love that chant.
Alex would love that.
Oh, Alex will do some things in his pants that I don't want to talk about.
Oh no. He's gonna kill you for that one.
No, he's gonna agree.
Just
a little bit. Well, he's playing MLB. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go ahead and wind this down. Ryan, where can everyone find you at? Like, follow you at? What do you do?
At Rhytokes on every platform. I do reaction content. I smoke weed and post videos on YouTube. I play wrestling games with Josh. Yeah.
He also has an Etsy store.
I do. You can buy my shit on there.
He has services for video editing on Fiverr as well.
Mm-hmm.
So hit up Ryan if you need video editing, if you need Photoshop needs, thumbnails. Ryan can hook you up, Dale.
Yes.
How about you, Kuppy?
At ChefKuppy at Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yeah, you better start streaming, sir, once your internet gets better.
I'm getting my
Aren't you getting fiber soon, actually?
Yeah, that's within the next month. And I'm getting 2 new
hopefully
Ethernet
it doesn't
cords,
drop like this internet did.
That's just because my Ethernet cord.
Fucking
but tonight was because they were doing some, like, I don't know, they were doing something with their servers.
At least they didn't do that during Forbidden Door, I guess.
That too.
Because you would have missed. Oh my gosh.
They did that during Collision, but not Forbidden Door.
Well, they need to get their shit together. I've actually had no problem with Xfinity. I always hear people talk shit about Xfinity. I have great service with Xfinity. At least where I live. Get your internet together, Canadian internet company that I don't know your name.
Tucker Smith.
There you go.
Fuck Tucker Smith. All my homies hate Tucker Smith.
Wow. I don't even know who that is.
the Wi-Fi company.
Make sure you guys follow me everywhere. My link tree, all of our link trees, or all of our links will be down in the description on Spotify, YouTube, or on the website. So make sure you guys tune in. There will be another podcast, I believe, Thursday. I'll have another one up reviewing Raw, NXT, Dynamite. So expect more of these podcasts every week, especially in this new format that we've all been rocking in this one. I really like this website.
It'll be
It's really
awesome.
dope. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Have a great day.